Hi, everybody. So in this one, I want to talk a little bit about girls' high school sports. And I want to talk about what I consider a crisis that we're having right now in girls' high school sports. And I don't think everybody's paying attention to it. And I put in the title that the Iowa school high school girls basketball, is it the canary in the mine? And so what I did this week, the girls basketball, my daughter is actually coaching some of the teams from around this area. She's coached last year. She's helping out coaching this year. She doesn't even live in this area and she drives over because she wants to give back. And we get to see our grandson. So it's a win-win for us. So she has some friends she played high school that they all played in college. And now they're starting to become head coaches at these high schools. And so she's helping out a high school nearby. So I went over to see them play. And then on the second part is, we've got a lot of the young men in our area that are now sophomores, juniors, and seniors in high school that we kind of know, and we know the parents, and so we go to watch them at our local high school that my kids went to. So putting all this together, so I go to see my daughter, I go to see her coach, and I'm watching the girls basketball, and the disparity in the teams was huge. In fact, I thought maybe there was some sort of development league in one of the games. The game was just, the skill set of the girls was just not there for varsity basketball, at least at the level I'm thinking. And this is not some, lowly small schools. These were pretty good schools, and the scores were ridiculous when they started the actual tournament. It was like, 75 to 15. And these scores were just outrageous. And it wasn't even close. And it was the skill set that I'm looking at. Something was wrong. So, I'm not thinking about it. I go over to watch some of the boys' games at the local high school, and some of the games got a little bit off balance, but you could see the skill, even on the losing team. You could see the skill set for those kids. It was there. It was like one or two of them. It was just the other teams were kind of overwhelming. Something I talked about a couple of weeks ago, where we have this sort of disparity where a lot of the really, really, really good kids are all joining one team. And then the other team will have one or two pretty good players, but you could see the other boys were holding their own. They just couldn't score. They didn't have enough firepower. They would double team the stars of the other team, or one team would have this, not just one big man, but they would have two or three of them. They're almost the same size, and the other team would have one big man, and the other forwards were kind of small. Even their guards were big. So you could see the disparity, but it was in size, speed, not skill set, not the ability to play the game. At first I thought, well, maybe, I'm just looking at this tournament in this way. It was, I only watched two of the games, and then I went home. I took my grandson, and we went off and went and had some fun. I brought him back to the house. So I didn't think that much of it. And then I was reading on the internet, and you guys can go look this up. It was an article about the Iowa high school girls. A lot of the high schools were dropping their girls varsity program. And so as I'm reading the article, what they were saying was that the scores were so lopsided that a lot of the schools just decided not to even put teams out. The girls weren't trying out. They didn't have enough players to play. And one of the people in the article mentioned that the girls don't like the blowouts. They don't want to go and be embarrassed on the court. And so I'm thinking about all of this, and it's like, what do you do? What's the solution to something like that where you have this skill disparity? And I'm going to go and look at so there's going to be a girls program on the week of Thanksgiving. I'm going to go look at that tournament up at the local high school. I want to see, and it's all girls. It's an all girls tournament for a week, and then it's all boys for the weekend or something like that. I'm going to go look because something's wrong. And maybe it's not in other sports. That's what I want you guys to tell me down below. But the disparity in the skill set for girls was just too wide. I'm missing out on it. My daughter played at a pretty high level, but even when she went to the high school that she went to, that we have a school in our area that she probably should have went to. My wife wanted to go there, but it was the high school in our area that was a little bit further away. Her brother was older, so he was already at the high school down the street. And it would have always been my dream that my kids could walk to school if they wanted to. And they turned out to never walk because they get a ride from one of the other parents, because my wife knows everybody who knows everybody. So somebody would always pick her up, one of her friends, moms, or something like that. And then they get a ride home, and they get to stop and get something to eat. It was very annoying to me the way they were doing things. But that's not where I'm going with this. But when she played there, she was clearly better than everybody else. If she would have went to the other school, they probably would have won state or something like that. But she was okay. And then when she played that next year, she inspired a next set of girls to come in. So that year after she was a freshman, that sophomore year, a lot of the girls on her team had graduated. she came into a program that really was broken. But when she came there, she got a new coach. Her high school coach used to be a junior college coach. And so he was the one that helped me create Athletic SOS. So because he helped her get an athletic scholarship, a D1 athletic scholarship, which is a little more difficult. But she got a bunch of girls inspired, and they wanted to come play with her to go against that other power school. And to me, that was a great thing. But how do we get here? How do we get our girls to actually want to play the skill set? One of the things I realized, remember I told you guys this story before, but I'm going to tell it again here. My daughter was, from the 3rd grade on, she was playing at a pretty good level. She was better than everybody else when she first started. She was just a great athlete. She was really a good athlete. But the thing is, she didn't care that much about sports. She was just good at it. And so anyway, she got picked up. You know how they start off with NJB, and then the travel club coaches go around and they scout the NJB, or they hear a whisper somewhere about this young lady on this particular team. You need to go take a look at her. And so they come in, and then I had at the time had opened up a store to help kids find youth sports training aids. And so my wife had my daughter, and my son would come with me, and then I would go to his games and I would coach his games. And so my wife, of course, they catch her, walking in the parking lot, and they butter her up with, oh, your daughter's really great. She should come try out on our team. So she gets on this really high level travel club team by the 4th grade. And then they go out and they're traveling all over the country. My wife's really involved in it, and they rah, rah, rah. What was it called? Below the rim, beyond the rim? I don't know, something with the rim at the end. But anyway, long story short, one day I have her, it's, they had their season. They're getting ready to go to junior high school. My daughter's going from elementary school to junior high school. And so we're in the car. I think we're going to get her some shoes or something like that. And she says, hey, I don't want to play basketball anymore. And I'm going, what? What just happened here? All I'm hearing, we got trophies all over the house, and they're having all of these awards banquets and their names everywhere. And I'm going, hey, what's going on? Why don't you want to play? She goes, it's not fun. I'm not having any fun. I don't want to play anymore. I just don't feel like it. And I'm thinking I got to have one of these kids get an athletic scholarship. My son was big and tall, but he just wasn't as good as she was compared to the other boys. But he played hard. But and then he didn't even come into his own until the 11th grade. So it took him a while to catch up with everybody else. His coordination came in really well, and he moved from being this tall, skinny kid they're having down low to where he was able to handle the ball better, and he became a guard. He was playing the wrong position. So once he started playing his right position, things started to click for him. But for her, I said, well, why do you want to quit again? She goes, I don't know. I might play. I don't know. So I just let it go. I didn't say anything else. And then later on that evening, I came in the room. I said, hey, what if I coach your team? Your brother's already over in high school. Why don't I come coach your team? And she goes, okay, if you want to do that. And then she was done. She was back to what she was doing. So I go there and I go, man, I got to coach girls. I don't know anything about coaching girls at all. It's just a different vibe. So I did get lucky because there was another girl just as equally as good as my daughter in our area. And her sister was a taller girl, but she wasn't as good as her other sister, and they're twins. So they're the same age. And so I called around and I said, hey, I'm thinking about starting a little travel club program with my daughter, and I was wondering if you'd be interested. And they said, yeah, which caught me by surprise because I know she could have played on a better travel club team than one we were going to create it. So when she said yes, that gave me 3 girls. And then we put together from other girls that my daughter knew in the area. And we put together a little team. It was called Lady Lightning. And we had the best time. I just made it as fun as I could. And so maybe the answer is that the parents get more involved with their daughter's team and make it a fun team. Make it not quite so serious. Now, our girls were serious because I had 2 girls that actually ended up going D1 in college. But then that just makes the difference in girls' sports because I guess the disparity was there. But even when we went to go play in our tournaments, I just don't remember that spread. And we played in the highest level we could, but even in the lower levels that were there, I just don't remember this. And maybe that's why. And then when she played high school, her league was pretty good. They played a few tournaments before the league, and I just didn't see this disparity. Now, it could have always been there, but I didn't pay attention to it. But then I was thinking about it. I go, well, yes, you could have it where the parents get more involved early on, the training gets better. And I do know with the girls that are really good, the trainers that they had were really, really good. My daughter's skill set, as soon as she moved to travel club, just went through the roof. I went to go see her games. I go, wow, all these girls are good. And then I look across the whole gym and there's all these games going on at the same time. Their skill set seemed pretty good. But then why, when you got to high school, when I went to go watch high school, why was it different? And then one of the things I realized, though, even from my daughter, and it hit me after I was getting ready to do this video, she said she wasn't having any fun. So what it looks like to me, and this is one of the things that I used to do, I used to tell everybody we'd have our practice, and then I would say, hey, next Friday at 6 o'clock, anybody that wants to come and just work out on their own and do something on their own, just come out to practice. It's not mandatory. You don't have to come, but I was going to work on some skill set things. But what I ended up doing when we got there to that day, it was only like 6 of the girls, right? I said, you know what? Why don't we just do free play? You guys are going to play half court, 3-on-3. Only rule is once you take the ball out, you got 10 seconds to score. I go, other than that, do whatever you want. And the girls would have a ball because now we're not telling them what to do. I'm not even paying attention. I just have to be there, right? It's the girls. And that's another thing. We're so scared to let our girls, you never see girls play pickup sports, ever. I never see them just go out and go get their friend and walk over to the park and they all get together and they play. It's just like unheard of. I see the boys do it all the time out here. But I never see girls do that. They play when it's practice time and there's game times and everything is focused. They go, they want to go get something to eat, and then they come home and they might not even practice again. Now you have the few that love the game. I get it. They're going to go do it. But what about the girls that play and they pretty good at the game, or they could be good at the game, but they don't get enough just free time to play the game in a way where they can develop their skills and their individuality? I tell everybody, the best chance you have of getting an athletic scholarship is to be the best version of you at your sport. Don't try to emulate necessarily anybody else. Don't try to just play based on what the coach is. You have to get out there. You have to develop your own move. Something about every single athlete makes them special. Can they find that? Can they find it and make themselves effective playing the game? So if you can find that, if your daughter is really, really good at what she's doing, she's got to develop her own little thing. And the only way you do that is you got to get out there and experiment. But you don't get to experiment in practice. Maybe a few minutes before practice, if they come early, they can play around. And then it looks like it's silly. What is the first thing the adults say is, hey, come on, you guys, get serious about this. What are you doing? Why are you playing around? I watch the parents do it even for my girls. I go, leave them alone. We'll get them ready in a second. But what you want to do, we got to get our girls so that they can go out and just have fun with their sport. I know everybody's afraid something's going to happen. They've scared us to death in the media. You know, how dare you leave your daughters out there by themselves? Something goes wrong, you're going to feel guilty as heck. But so maybe one of the parents could just say, hey, we're going to, if you guys want to go just play, I'll sit in the parking lot in the car. Could be one of the moms, one of that. Just leave them alone. Just let them go and have fun for about an hour. Even if they just all go, the girls used to always gather up together, go get water. I was like, does everybody need water? But just the way this is the way they socialize. I get it. But I think that's the answer. That's what I'm going with. And so at the beginning of 2025, instead of me just complaining and coming here and talking about, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong in sports and youth sports, what's going on, I'm putting something together. I'm going to start trying to solve all of these problems. And I've been thinking about this anyway, solving problems instead of just talking about problems. And some of the things that we're going to look into, I think you guys will be excited about it. So I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and subscribe to this channel now. I never really asked that for the YouTube channel because I want to bring some things up that I think we're going to make a big difference for our kids as we move forward. I'm going all in. Those of you that don't know me, Charles Norman here from Sports Solutions LLC. We created a application called Athletic SOS. If your kid, male or female, is trying to get an athletic scholarship, you want to use our software. We do not charge for it. I'll leave a link down below. I'll leave a code and I'll leave you instructions for how to use it. And I'll leave a link that shows you what it does. But it's the best program out there and I don't charge for it. I've got some cool partners I'm working with now. Some of them have some opportunities, but we're going to move forward on this. But what I want to do is I want to get, especially for our girls, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong. But what I really want you guys to do down below, I want to know, are there other sports that this is happening in? Do you see it in girls basketball? Or am I just doing an anecdotal thing? It happened here. I read an article and I overdid it. But I think there's a crisis here. I don't think there's a crisis. Actually, the participation rate for girls' high school sports has gone up. But I'm wondering if the skill set is there. Are the girls really enjoying it? Are they having fun? And then for the youth, have you guys noticed that they never get to just have fun playing? Yes, they have fun with the game and they'll laugh. And a lot of the girls are sitting on the bench. They never get to get on the court, especially in travel club program. Everybody doesn't have to play. How do we fix these things? How do we get their skills set up? How do we get them to have fun playing? How do we keep them playing longer? Because remember, our ultimate goal here is we want to take the fact that we're going to leverage the fact that they play youth sports, and we're going to make them have a remarkable life. We're going to take the access they get, the places they're going, the things they're seeing, and we're going to make sure that they take those things, meet each other, get in social settings with each other, and start developing a relationship with each other and with where they're going and what their other interests are when they're moving around and going places, that you, the parent, are going to be, hey, as long as we're over here, I know you're interested in this, let's go do that. Hey, if we're all on this team, let's go look at this. We want to get them ready for their lives as they move forward. And I don't want them to have the life that we had, the regular life where you get good grades, you go to school, go to college, get your degree, you get a job. That world's going to end. I want them to have a remarkable life. We had a pretty good life. I'm not saying that we did anything wrong, but we owe it to them as we move forward that they can have a remarkable life, and their lives are going to be a little bit different because they are going to have to put themselves out there, and they're going to have to go and do the same things we did in a lot of ways, but they're going to have to do something extra. Otherwise, it's not going to work. There's going to be the haves and the have-nots. I say it almost every video now, but I'm seeing it happen in real life. So anyway, all of that I just put out there. So use the code down below. Leave me your experiences with the girls. What do you see? Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe you guys can tell me that too. And then, are there other girls' sports? Because I just happen to see basketball. I hadn't seen anything else. So you guys let me know what's going on out here. But let's get our girls. Let's let them enjoy the game so they'll continue playing, and then we can use it for other things. And then subscribe to the channel. I got some great stuff coming. We're moving fast. You can see it's getting a little colder out here in Southern California. My Hawk Mindset shirts, the athlete, and remember, that's a big thing that we're working on. What else is your daughter? What else is your son other than the athlete? Yeah, they play this really good. Can they answer this question, the and question? And so these shirts are selling out real quick. I appreciate you guys for that. I am going to make my second order coming up soon, and then that'll be it for the gray ones. And the gray ones give you the VIP access for any kind of events we put on, because we're going to start putting our own events on in 2025. Very excited about the future for us over here at Sports Solutions, especially with the Athletic SOS piece. We got some other stuff coming. So please, go ahead and use the software. Once you get registered in the software, you'll start to see some of the other items that we're going to be adding in. And then this is on my website, Hawk Mindset. People were having some trouble with the website last week, but it's hawkmindset.com. It should be fixed by the time you try to go there. You should be able to purchase. All the smalls are out. We're low on larges, but I am ordering another set. And then that'll be it for this gray, and then I'll bring some other colors in. But anyway, let's talk about girls' youth sports, high school sports in particular. That's really what I'm more interested in. And then what are you guys seeing out there? And leave it down below in the comments. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to you and your kids in everything they do, in all their endeavors. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye.